Hey guys, it's Lon, once again, from the Appalachian Mountains. I'm looking through a book right now. I don't know if I mentioned I was an author. I have a book published on Amazon, going on almost 2 years now. It's not chicken related, so I won't tell you the title, because this video isn't about that. However, I do have an analogy in here that I'm looking for, that I'd like to share with you. It's about 70 degrees here in the hills, rainy. I just need to take a break. This place is almost a full-time job, but I pretty much got a lion's share of the work done, so where did it go? It's quiet here, and that's something to think about. When people think, yeah, I'd like a quiet place in the hills. What you have to ask yourself is, are you one of those that are comfortable in their own company? Because if you're not, this kind of solitude can drive you crazy. Somewhere in here. Doggone it. I realized one day while feeding some hens how like their behavior is to many people that I've worked with. Those people who think and function in groups, and how easily and almost willingly they will overlook opportunity because they're dreamers and hustlers and cannot see it, individual opportunity, because they're too focused on the opportunity of contributing to someone else's success. As I watched these 4 hens pecking and scratching as they do, I was feeding them a piece of bologna because they love it. Let's say these 4 hens represent the world, divided into 4 equal parts, wherever the borders fall, because that isn't relevant. And let's say that this piece of bologna represents opportunity. Many times I've given them bologna because it's hilarious to watch them go nuts over it. I'll begin tearing it into 4 equal pieces as they start to crowd around me. Then I'll toss them to the ground, one at a time, all 4 pieces, completely available, and 1 for each. As soon as that first piece hits the ground and one of them seizes the opportunity of grabbing it, suddenly that becomes the piece of bologna that the other 3 have to have. They'll get so wound up emotionally that they no longer notice the other pieces of bologna in plain sight, because now all they can see is that suddenly one of them has it just a little bit better than the rest, and now they feel entitled to a piece of it. They'll put more time and energy into chasing that first hen around the yard for a bite of what she has than they do looking for their own piece of bologna, because it's easier to just take a piece of something than it is to earn it, right? That first hen could share it if she were so inclined, but most likely she won't, and that's okay. Why should she? It was her that seized the opportunity, and it was her that while the other 3 hens were tripping over each other, stepping on each other, to cut to the head of the line, that she stood there, off to the side, watching my hand, and completely present. She was about as cool and logical as a hen could be, and watched as I tore each piece of bologna into 4 equal pieces, then took a risk before the rest, and now she had to fight to keep it. Sure, it was a struggle, but it was well worth it. Not only that, but she alone notices that those other pieces of bologna are still laying there on the ground in plain sight, then doubles back for another piece while the other 3 give chase. Still oblivious to the bologna directly in front of them, they remained laser focused on that first hen instead. And though they would all skid to a halt at that very same place where the remaining pieces of bologna still lay, they didn't see him. Instead, they would wait for that first hen to snatch up her second piece, and again run her around the yard for a bite of that piece as well. They were so fixated on getting a bigger piece of what she had this time around that they ran directly over the two remaining pieces of bologna, leaving a footprint on one of them. It made me wonder that maybe if they would just step outside of their little chicken heads and not let their emotions cloud their judgment, that they could benefit from the clarity of seeing those last two pieces of bologna right there in plain sight, just a few feet away, as opportunity usually is. But my question to you is, which one are you? Are you full of bologna? Or am I out of my fucking mind? See you in the next video.